TV, Ash FM, Nap Radio, Oman FM, and a social media platforms. So, Kencity Ebusiano, and on pay your guest, the Honorable Kennedy, Ohene Agyapong, or no, and I know a won't commodity. Terrible on my be and Komobi Kosu Krum, Nehua Akuhia say, Obebanon your man for non so ebeche, Nadia, Yankasi and Shedda, near Sem Cassia Bisano, but on also Krum, a dear Nawati, Openia Mwakaba.
Thank you,
Boko.
Boko.
Now say me sha I say who look young. Me nim say na ye breu say because say I say ahomeje abem ama ahomeje abem ama wani mu no esesa pa na ni nyina say dey ada bia wo kan oni po anya da age anyi wa home a na akwa ya asem foforo nti abusuafo ye de nkomo no e de breu na hye no so fa ma me na me kan say na say look young.
Try. Pressure will soon, but we may try to 1 hour.
Okay.
Maybe 1 hour and some
exercise. Walk.
Yeah, walk.
Okay. Any no. Man is saying papa.
You try.
Okay. Now, and come over no crew.
Yo, first of all, me perceive me that and painful be as okay. And sana, mamiaka asemutia ebaha. Osofo da word most. No currently we visited about 2 weeks ago. Ewo Mampong. Now before Mampong cry, no me call the home be. Osha a dear sofo na yeno. Hey, they be great. It is unfortunate say Omo Kunto Kwana will listen to only one side. I think that place should be captured for tourist attraction sites.
Okay.
What the man and his church pastors and church members need to hear.
Meda se mame en kan kire o man for me san na so bia afi na oni awadwen ne na ye ne Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong na e won komodie anopei na niema hodo no de nani ahu ene ne enti a opese yetimi etiase ho nkomo na yedi mpacho to asoma me.
Yeah, so for now, idea a bonabaso. Ghana ha no kurini. Oko restaurants, ne places, public places, bathrooms, senior is for the first time, the general Linda do me kukumasi. Now I was surprised. The neatness, bathrooms. Yeah. Mameno, me bonabaso. She has done very well. You know, people like that. We have
chance and maintenance.
Yes, I was shocked. We do on neatness, ni page, you know, a clean. Normally, we cover the pay a way a year na masamechi. But this woman, Adia me kuhu. There's another lady, your friend Ellen Entry.
Okay.
Or yes, spring akufo-addo.
Okay.
Also a training a man to be sprayers, men to be sprayers. I think we should pick individuals like that now to encourage them, to motivate them to do more for Ghanaians. There are good people. Now me can't that word most as same or software obisu catch me or software Mensa Utabel, Adi Onswaye or Labadi Sado. I'm here to go and see. I was told by my young but that who were most the Miyama visiting the Pia Cranium Fesse, a library.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, my idea, Papa. Huge place. Inti Nasama making, it is so be idea politics. Maybe advice, no say party be per se. Ombeye omo rally and meetings on the sofa. Misrawara, NDC, MPP, CPP, Maya, party BR, political party, or bow premises, and Famano. And Famano, stay neutral.
And now reasons in the same.
The reasons in the same. Now, more politicians are, and Kamubetia, new market, Mumanya, no be or so for any dear. I want to add by your rally grounds. A politicizing issue. No. or your sofo, and your sorry PA, or training younger sofo. I dear back one name, friend say, friend etiquette night, and Kotoso. So I suffer for my training woman school. It reminded me of my father. I'm going to the college, or the midnasi, and watch me. And your grassy way at the answer, did Sani or the fork and knife. A tour, watch me how to use it. Oh, quite that night, no, almost a ticket night, no, only a dinner. And a younger suffer for more passing out. Yet, woman, how to behave, how to use cutlery. Oh, I was so impressed with Papa. What you say? And it's hard year way now. What the quiet politics are. I beg you, sorry. And to me, I advise him to be neutral.
Okay.
If you are going there as a politician, one person, of the city, you are fine. But to make the place a rally ground, no, and you're good.
What about be on also being a scacra?
Sika, baby, I want you to bring Adia way. And your politics is Sika, and never mother who had most. I intermediate advice of the man woman. Ebium Asantifua, more shame muti and pay. Messer, media disredia and to money. Asantifua controls about 40% of businesses in Ghana. In terms of wealth and businesses. But me call a Confanoche Hospital. Na me yoro Saturday anadwo. Eye doctor bi, ma me nka doctors ne de ayi. Doctors no by their profession. Wo hu se enipa ewu da bia antino. They really don't care how many nurses ne. But this particular doctor behave like ordinary person because he has gone through a bitter experience. It is something that I always talk about, and people think so. Can Agyapong were allowed? It happened to this doctor. Now, my mention doctor no, neyere or a nurse. I will be a woman. No sinity surgery. I may call you immediately. Or no koye bi no omo ye surgery fa no hwim. In fact the cousin bi so aye bi ono de e de fa no hwim ti say doctor no yire pepepe na omo ye wie no na me cousin ni ti pai no tin pa no mbasa fa no ko onko anu ko hu say ensuo ejina ni trim ntumi ma out no mde ade shame say and ensuo no e drip unim say eni party ensuo wo papa Mimi dianu ebi anyame adom omu ye ni ye ntino me wa na nsuo efiri me hum very white etumi gu mata ade mu nyina nsuo ye surgery ni ye. This lady was unfortunate emra all complaining the tino insesa omu de ayi behwe ni hwenu atwe nsuo omu sedeti ti obi awada de nsuo ni ayi ebi ama na okokoma your no doctor ni jina na yiri ewu ni ma me nsa obu friend ni phone so se abon se ni ma nsa nketwa ono ana hwewo enti wo se wo hu patients no a se no si sofa no wakai na yiri no na the professional e ma no hu se da bia ni pewu a on care no this time the doctor is getting involved seriously. One thing that I was impressed with them ni say doctor no eko fa ni boss na ni boss nso buy na ni boss in terms ono no kire boy na de. For the first time I see a boss or a teacher and a student working together as a team.
Okay.
Under normal circumstances in this country okoto obi wadwuma mo ye panyinia oba kire wadwuma no kura no nti office a wo baba be yi na firi odi adwuma no onjiro. So this boy or this doctor any the boss enyina ne ba afemuntie what I saw me call Confanoche Hospital. Na cancer patients enra Monday and omuba treatment omu free chiri and eba enti me call no omu de da form. Now one scene I saw a me a man to me Saturday and Nadra Bepim Sunday. So utim say papa no na wo cancer no wo hwe maame na yina papa na fon na e form say maame ne de ne sa atu ne kon so wo mu nyina da fom na awre ho ankasa nipa gu fom o matete box card say
and o mo de da so
so what now wo hwe ba bi o mo da no a yare be worse mosquitoes in nyoma anyone. So I asked them, say, the mattress, say there be any mattress. I'm going to buy the mattress. Emergency, Ukowa, I ordered 250. But the boy on the Bremen pressure be home. So I want to see 587,000 for 250 beds for Kumasi.
When you will nipa be saying.
You on idea, many who nipa be 17. Saturday no. To mo patch as a Sunday idea be chino de. Ene esewani. Ti Kumasi Komfanochi esikafo free Ashanti region papa. Mumbi nyina nkamu. You see, I am a ferry say that bia me bought despite me understand ko adi. Ko da bia o na me kan o mu bua. This time I'm appealing to every Ashanti. And then yeah, Ashanti phone na me appeal. Anybody ya asema me ken ebe kawakuma. Let's go and help because every free tamale. Every free chiri and umaba. Enipa no da ho betimi ayo nua ana wo maame ana betimi ayo wankasa. Ti mesre. Near ya a brand new machine. Almost starting in just 2019. Almost say, almost crap machine, no. Now, a day I was saying this machine you could see, and you're ready to machines work 4 years under NDC. T akufo-addo buy and Omabesi a Unima on the Unaship. 4 years ago plus 3 years, no machine had 7 years. I was a woman say,
if I have my mocha 2019, to one who we can say be a 2019.
Yeah, say 2019. Almost.
Okay.
But I'm crying about 4 years before.
Okay.
Let's say 2015.
Okay.
So, to 2019, 2022, 3 years plus 4 years, 7 years in a machine. Omuyewe ankasa edi. Now, near SC one say. Machine, I break it down for 2 weeks. Company say, Ghana government assigned agreement with them, contract agreement for warranty 6 years. And it came to about 1.4 million or so, or 1.2 something dollars. I don't know, machine, they will not come and service it.
You sign warranty na me twem.
A twem.
Okay.
I spy. Inti before say umbaba touch it. They need a warranty for 6 years. I think say I need it too much. So what I decided, they said, okay. I've spoken to the agent, said make your first 1 year. No, you're calculating a around $45,000.
Okay.
So 6 years no more power. Media sempa fishing. Omumu is catching a mumu de you know.
Yeah, they say anyway.
The asempa fishing. A beg contract, you know.
Okay.
On behalf of Komfanochi Hospital. And every year I'll pay the money through my fish. So but say Ghana and only your proposal. Your proposal,
okay.
They are yet to come back to me. And the what would hear me be a akawakuma asema make. Opesa oboa also a kwanda na yenye scandal do no emfankoma company no me service machine emawo
when the entity awenya sky na enye ya you outside this scandal back to the society whether say political party do na talk asema omo the wakoja to ho so why you store say for 6 years.
Yeah, well, you see, how long are we going to live on it to see your people suffer? Whilst everybody praise you, oh, can Agyapong, what was go, uniska, because Fosika no more. And me what Juma, I was a come to but now says he can Ukraine 37 for the 37 project omusika and amisa ko yimu bi e dia kotua wa because agent ohwe ni peguo na machine ase so they've gone back to own machine be cobbled President Kufuor Bresu and omu toy ti dada and one of the Yemeni pan I have respected Ghanaian doctors and so say the Ukrainian say equipment wa ka Ghanaian doctors no mbeye adwuma equipment no eni ho in Japan no we have to sit up our health sector no there it has not improved so disgusting when I went to Komfanochi. Now I am appealing to Ghanaians say aban ko antimi nyeni nyina momienso yamwa especially Asantefo no I am stressing on Asantefo because Esikumasi and the proximity of all the villages so be yari adin beko Asantefo and the first
okay the health sector na improve we ahwe aban ba enema waye
ya ye nyoma
okay
eno de wo hwe ambulances ni nyoma ya no doubt about it but we still have to do a lot
and you na just chire ho de na enye kura wo
oh and you na tankra so what I saw there be agro mami papa bi na ekuru atu ni nan na wasa nya cancer no ne yi na odaho anadwo no adabi masa ukwa wuntumi nidi so obi say ntini papa ni pa ya wiye ye eni ya sorry ya kikiri na we have to help each other may I've told you once say I learned this from New Jersey St. Barnabas Hospital baby ni ku because you know na me read me papa enya prostate ni didn't call na me read now how St. Barnabas Hospital was started and your baby ni ku and it started are they better human beings than us
Dabi
yes because they think differently but as human beings are Nyankopon boy we are the same but the difference and he said he thinks differently onimsa yare no obeyare obewu obeko but ade awaye thousands and millions of people are benefiting that makes him a different person so let's as Ghanaians and blacks also commit ourselves say nyebia yen share but no green ni share no so ade ne dey we are makan wo dey opa ma minsi form wo be hu course eba because at least the new man koche Komfanochi Hospital people bring their personal demands that I assure you I'm not going to do it I'm not going to do it we don't have to take advantage of my kindness never shift all burdens on me into Komfanochi de no ye di besi ha na me ko Shia Kumase Emranti Omiya keep fit.
Okay.
And when I told them, they were happy. Said they were also going to help.
Okay.
I know, say, Kenneth Mbebe, Mufan, you know, whoever wants to contribute to Komfanochi Hospital, it can be you, it can be Umia, it can be Umami, it can be Unyonkubi. So now yentimi
once away appeal so mo we are see man nyina so so beba beboa
afei ene President Mahama a grantee interview to Kwesi Pratt din kampese
yenti interview no
mumu bona Ghana futi
are ready mo fama na yenti sa interview na sana
me wi maka ho asem
ye de hon komo no e de abroad me kai wo say ye ne the honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong e na edin komo na interview no yenti na fe yento aso aba
how did the strong, resilient economy that Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia talked about crumble in the space of, let's say, 6 months? I mean, they were waxing lyrical about how strong this economy was and things have never been so good for Ghana. I mean, how come within 6 months of just a coronavirus pandemic, the whole economy has collapsed completely? We are facing the worst economic situation probably in the entire history of, I wouldn't even say probably, in the entire history of the Fourth Republic. The economy has never been this bad. And you see, when you have a hole and you're hiding it, you understand? Eventually, when reality catches up, you will find that that hole will be exposed. There's been a hole in this economy, and I've kept saying it. This is not the first time I'm going to say it. The finance minister, who is the cousin of the president, has been cooking the books since 2017. He has this way of, and it's the first time we're having this strange presentation of budget. Our budget numbers from 1992 to date are the budget numbers for everybody, for Parliament, for the International Donor Organization, for everybody. And those are the numbers that are presented to the world. This finance minister comes and he has liabilities, big ones. Instead of calculating them and putting them in the budget, he brings them to the bottom and puts them at footnotes. And so he doesn't factor them in the budget. And so he can give you a deficit number that looks good. He can give you a debt to GDP ratio that looks good. You know, he can give you, all his other fiscal statistics that look good. But as soon as you add the liabilities, one was the financial sector clean out, and two is the energy sector debt. The energy sector debt, today he owes the independent power producers alone $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. Those are the figures he's now put in the budget that are showing the kinds of numbers that are, and so he's been engaged in subterfuge. And sometimes very criminal subterfuge. I'll give you another example. In 2019, they didn't meet the domestic revenue target. You know what Oforiatta did? He made GRA go and borrow money from commercial banks and presented it and said, we met the revenue target. So when coronavirus struck, the commercial banks have been deducting the loan that they gave to show good figures for 2019. That is why the economy is worse than it is, because any revenue that comes, the commercial banks are taking their money back. And so some of these things have been very criminal, and I'm surprised that Professor Ade, as chairman of GRA, could connive to do something as criminal as this. The president knows about it. He's done nothing about it, And so yes, the economy is in a bad state. We handed him a much better economy. Growth had been projected at 8% for 2017. They had nothing to do with that growth. It had been projected. World Bank, IMF had all said that in 2018 the economy was going to grow at 8% because of the work that we had done in 2017, because of the work that we had done in 2016. I left him $300 million in the stabilization fund for a day such as this when Corona struck. And the stabilization fund is used to ameliorate economic shocks. And so I left him $300 million in that fund. I left him $270 million in the sinking fund so that when the COFOR Eurobond became due, there'll be money to pay for it. I left him $270 million in the Ghana Infrastructure Investments Fund. I left him 2 new oil fields, revenue from 2 new oil fields. All the development of infrastructure that I did in this country in my 4 years as president was with only the Jubilee field, 1 oil field. And even then, 1 oil field, there was a problem with the FPSO turret, and so they had to reduce production. And so he's got 3, 4, 5 times more oil revenue in his period than I got. But what is there to show for it? Virtually nothing. And look.
Abusuafo na mo ase na video ya ekotie ebesan akwa akotie bio tie ne owura John Dramani Mahama ene owura Kwasi Pratt nkomodie na opa kire se omeya bakosem mu ampani akufo-addo memo ya obue na enko yie kura de tie mu no na yebesan akwa akotie bio mo amwo radio amante na yesem mo fanche ye ko bio de ade amobeti nti yensan ko tie bio.
Talked about crumble in the space of, let's say 6 months, the strong, resilient economy about how strong this economy was, talked about, and things have never been so good for Ghana. In the space of, let's say 6 months. 6 months. They were waxing lyrical about how strong this economy was, and things have never been so good for Ghana. I mean, how come within 6 months of just a coronavirus pandemic, the whole economy has collapsed completely? We are facing the worst economic situation probably in the entire history of, I wouldn't even say probably, in the entire history of the Fourth Republic. The economy has never been this bad. And you see, when you have a hole and you're hiding it, you understand? Eventually, when reality catches up, you will find that that hole will be exposed. There's been a hole in this economy, and I've kept saying it. This is not the first time I'm going to say it. The finance minister, who is the cousin of the president, has been cooking the books since 2017. He has this way of, and it's the first time we're having this strange presentation of budget. Our budget numbers from 1992 to date are the budget numbers for everybody, for Parliament, for the international donor organization, for everybody. And those are the numbers that are presented to the world. This finance minister comes and he has liabilities, big ones. Instead of calculating them and putting them in the budget, he brings them to the bottom and puts them at footnotes. And so he doesn't factor them in the budget. And so he can give you a deficit number that looks good. He can give you a debt to GDP ratio that looks good. You know, he can give you, all his other fiscal statistics that look good. But as soon as you add the liabilities, one was the financial sector clean out, and two is the energy sector debt. The energy sector debt, today he owes the independent power producers alone $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. Those are the figures he's now put in the budget that are showing the kinds of numbers that are, and so he's been engaged in subterfuge. And sometimes very criminal subterfuge. I'll give you another example. In 2019, they didn't meet the domestic revenue target. You know what Oforiatta did? He made GRA go and borrow money from commercial banks and presented it and said, we met the revenue target. So when coronavirus struck, the commercial banks have been deducting the loan that they gave to show good figures for 2019. That is why the economy is worse than it is, because any revenue that comes, the commercial banks are taking their money back. And so some of these things have been very criminal, and I'm surprised that Professor Ade, as chairman of GRA, could connive to do something as criminal as this. The president knows about it. He's done nothing about it, And so yes, the economy is in a bad state. We handed him a much better economy. Growth had been projected at 8% for 2017. They had nothing to do with that growth. It had been projected. World Bank, IMF had all said that in 2018 the economy was going to grow at 8% because of the work that we had done in 2017, because of the work that we had done in 2016. I left him $300 million in the stabilization fund for a day such as this when Corona struck. And the stabilization fund is used to ameliorate economic shocks. And so I left him $300 million in that fund. I left him $270 million in the sinking fund so that when the COFOR Eurobond became due, there'll be money to pay for it. I left him $270 million in the Ghana Infrastructure Investments Fund. I left him 2 new oil fields, revenue from 2 new oil fields. All the development of infrastructure that I did in this country in my 4 years as president was with only the Jubilee field, 1 oil field. And even then, 1 oil field, there was a problem with the FPSO turret, and so they had to reduce production. And so he's got 3, 4, 5 times more oil revenue in his period than I got. But what is there to show for it? Virtually nothing. And look at the kind of figures you're talking about. Debt service and wages are more than 143% of domestic revenue. How could this have happened? It couldn't have happened overnight. So it means that they were criminally, hiding the true state of the economy from Ghanaians. And then coronavirus comes and they suddenly say, oh, this is the state of the economy, it's in a mess. But how did we end here? You said, yet Sika so come there. Where is the Sika? Are we not still sitting on that money? Where's the gold? And the worst thing is that you kind of try to surreptitiously, take our gold royalties, get your family to get involved and set up some company in a tax haven and mortgage our gold royalties for the next 15 years for $500 million. And I've said that they've created a vortex, and the vortex is swallowing money like anything. If that 500 million had come, it wouldn't have done anything, won't get anything tangible for it. It would have just been swallowed in his dead vortex. It's time to get him out. Get all the, level-headed people in this country to sit around the economy and fix it. I faced a problem with the economy as a result of the single spine. The single spine was inherited from the Akufo administration, and President Mills, started to deal with it. At the time, Governor Dufo was the finance minister. And so we did the negotiations until 2012. And then 2012, we started paying the single spine plus the arrears. And so in 2012, we were spending more than 73% of total revenue on wages and compensation alone, and had only 23%, 27% of revenue left for everything, goods and services, capital expenditure, everything, And so we've been faced with something like that before. What did we do? We called the Century Forum. You remember Century Forum? PV Obing was very active in that. We wanted to achieve consensus behind our economic program. So we invited all the stakeholders. Everybody was there. The only people who refused to attend were the New Patriotic Party. They actually issued a caveat that any of their members who attended would be sanctioned severely. And so some of them had accepted to come, but at the last minute, because of the party sanction, how unpatriotic can you be? So they refused to come. But we held the Century Forum. Out of the Century Forum came our homegrown fiscal consolidation policy. And eventually that became the basis for our negotiations with the IMF, which led to the program that we went into. Because by the time we left office in 2016, I'll tell you this, most Ghanaians don't know, we financed the budget from our own revenues. We didn't borrow one CD from the central bank. The first time in Ghana's history. Everything that we financed the budget with in 2016, we did zero central bank financing. This had put the economy on a platform where, if the incoming administration and Addo's administration had taken over with the additional oil revenues and things, we would have just continued fiscal consolidation with growth. And you would have felt the prosperity within the system. Instead, they jettisoned everything and decided to go on their own track. This finance minister, you know what he's interested in? All he's interested in is going on the bond market and borrowing money, because he benefits from it indirectly. His company is at the bottom of borrowing all these euro bonds. He's borrowed $9 billion from the bond market in 4 years. And every bond he floats, Data Bank makes money out of it through proxies and other things, And so this is clearly conflict of interest. The president knows about this, and that's why he says, I'm too old to be corrupt. I'm not going to steal your money, because he knew his relatives would steal the money for him. And that's exactly what's happening. He can go to a plush retirement because of Oyata and Gabi, and everybody will look after him. Bumpty and Co. will all look after him, And so, yes, we have a broken economy, but it's time for the person who broke it to leave so that somebody can come and fix it.
Thank you very much. Ghana for Mutie, Adia President Mahama na trot for person called demonstration because NDC for a propaganda. Anyway, the same explaining you maybe Mutie. President Mahama or say or can secretly say free. May be responsible. I'm starting free. Ekiani Oka about Gabi, Bomti, finance minister. President Mahama, Eure Fini, said all when lose election crowd or sign box site, Emmanuel Ibrahim. Waka, Bomti, Gabi,
Honorable Train Kakrana, me share until coming to my dear quickly now or share the microphone on fire. Emma may I say you go same registration no and tis new Ghana card, get your Ghana card and then do your registration. Franco Trading Enterprise here can phones and accessories I Ghana how money decay main office no other braka any rocks this cinema and anymore. Of course 4th Street will soon so a view or circle a ban or rise Fraser 246 422 338. I feel to us, mammy.
Yeah, okay. President Akufo-Addo ebusianfo ne yi o mahama unuanu ngwano me 25 Ghana for embra NDC lose election and we sign ayima bauxite Ghana bauxite nyina de ma ni nua Ibrahim unuanom enuma o maye wo Ghana NDC ni bi ba no China ohiam wa bi na kasa na unko President Mahama ho was in Romania. Emre parliament. Now that you have a Bobisian welfare, NDC welfare, no Bobisian. And that President Mahama, who by your vice, a president, you are the richest person in NDC. That is why NDC forced to say, Obiba contesting because on Pesikadama. President Mahama, you call 2001, you call parliament. No, call Bobisian from NDC for welfare account. And we'll go to that. How comes our vice president? A president, one term. You are the richest person in NDC. All big businesses are a common. Nientia NDC for Bufuya, Omututia, and Oman Kotwaba. Hey, Mahama, you are bushing for. And now, Ubetini Abeka, akufo-addo. I am not condoning Sasana and akufo-addo. Yeah, they should be punished for it. But you should equally be punished for what you did because you did worse than akufo-addo in Abusia for. Called the year 25. Minyo could be a friend of Peter Insia. Omo last born Adams and Mahamo said then Ekoji akwani sika oko boom. Now all Yusuf Mahama need to intimidate Peter. Ewo New Jersey. When you know in Nipan Kasa, unia bani fia osiwo Airport Hills. Sanwati, Agyapong lo Assin. We know everything, but you know, I'm not envious of anybody. No problem. But Ostatino Kasa, as if say we're Angela, we need to talk. Ghana for why MPP especially? Why should I be doing Yabuabin's job? This is the work of Yabuabin. To come out as a communicator, director, to respond accordingly. And I'm responding to Mahama for you people to see what you say. Oxy, ni secret ni say, or no Mahama, Emra 2016 no budget no of financing without donor support, everything domestically. He did very well. But won't hear what Mahama did. He introduced over 20 new taxes. He introduced over 20 new taxes. Ghana fontian ye, Muamusi he left him TB down. Abro and away a team. And this is one pagan a year. The very thing or no say, or yet, a year domestic finance and analysis, a year budget.
Taxes.
One koji, Bibian, taxes. Namuntie, the taxes no. From 8 years of Mills Mahama, 2009, our mobile to 2016. Now, Ghana taxes are GG of 4.299 billion. Mahama in 8 years, AG taxes 29 billion. The increase is 577.5%. Taxes increased. And the increase, he did not expand the tax net. The very few people now omutia taxes. Taxes. He was burdened, they were burdened with Mahama's taxes. Now, Onipana was saying, Yadi levy baya, Monty be done in TNE. Now, at ye, am I be free? First, I say increase in VAT rate from 2.5 to 15% in 2014. So far, near high. And we are one. Imposition of 5% VAT NHL on real estate 2014.
2 no.
2. Imposition of 17.5 VAT and national health insurance on pharmaceuticals. 17.5. Abolition of 3% VAT flat rate scheme in 2015. Imposition of 17.5 VAT and NHIL on financial service
5 no.
in 2015. Imposition of VAT on auctioneers and promoters of public entertainment in 2014.
6.
Imposition of 17.5 VAT on the business of gymnasium and spa in 2014.
7.
Imposition of 15% capital gains tax on petroleum operations in 2013. Reintroduction of 5% national fiscal stabilization levy in 2013.
9 no.
Imposition of special import levy of 1 to 2% on CIF value of some exempt items from 2013.
10.
1. Outboard motors, fishermen, fishing nets, agricultural machineries, dairy milking products, energy saving bulbs, bookbinding machines, cutlasses, and some farming inputs.
When you not tax about
when you know or taxi, Mahama, condoms were taxed. Corporate tax of 25% on private educational institutions in 2013. Corporate tax of 1% on companies enjoying temporary tax concessions from 2015.
12.
Capital gains of companies taxed at 25% instead of 15% from 2015. Okay, Kabumwa. How many? But when we are cutlass tax different, bookbinding tax different, you get over 20.
Even Kaya, the okay Kaya in Kwakra, they do 13 or 14.
Right. So, Mahama, taxes are Ochichi. I will call bank, we are transaction. Now, your Joe, 17.5%.
But I buy by
VAT. I buy by will try new money be brave. Yeah, when drums were all reduced. Into your nest, a banner catch say, E-Levia, what's one TD? Ghana from Refi. The number of taxes are Mabubosu. Mahama, Gigi. Mummy said what he did with it. And Munji.
And I went on so crown, Nipaka Krebi and a tria compared to E-Levia, yet trim Ama Ubia or
what do you hear? I see. Tax revenue increased by an aggregate of 577.5% during the 8-year period of Mahama. They started with Kufuor now 4.299.451 in 2008. In 2016, it was 29,129,044,669. As the tax revenue increased consistently during the 8 years of the NDC regime, the growth rate has been declining from 2014. The growth rate, with all these taxes that were introduced here, Ghana economy was not expanding. How can this man then tell me, say, no foundation I will lay and growth equal 8%?
He was saying, say, foundation I will lay, but the whole country said, 2014,
it was declining. Poor foundation. How can this man now take credit? Now, the man said something. Osi Senche meeting.
Yes.
Yes. Took them to IMF. Senche meeting. Took them to IMF.
Osi na moye unpatriotic mo amma.
They are unpatriotic because we knew what they were going to do to get NPPC and the other science IMF. Yeah, so because when I catch the Kufuor say, Omia Nanu because when you're president in that, so he can't criticize you. Into any agreement. And a failure, who economy now, who are a boss, we say mumessing gotten go any agreement young gotten then president that. So we decided not to go. What came out and he said your economy was in shambles and therefore you have to seek or sought help from IMF.
Honorable baby or kind critical say only foundation and on the 2070 economy no echo so and
hold on. Nanka me bow but open intermediate. Foundation will lay and say independent power producers now all cast and they do 1.5 billion. You left a debt of independent power producers at 15 billion Ghana cedis, which was 2.5 billion. Now you mean that you could to 1 billion crab because a car or a 1 billion and you're not the kind of buy. Now a company independent power producers when the whole world was selling for 7% to 9%. Mahama and in a bush of 4 chronics were signing at as high as 14%, 15, even 17%. And money a car a that way am. Now financial sector cleanup are all coming.
Yeah.
What's the according 9 billion? Financial sector cleanup cost us $5 billion.
I say now here now some of these kind of banks no.
Now young farmer banks now on one casa more do for money who are NDC for and call for an yaduma. He was ordered to pay them. I sympathize with him a lot. I have all the documents and call for yaduma. You ordered them to be paid. And you are persona Jifa the Nisika Kotu Bank. Economy also jar papa my. Jifa the Nisika Kotu Bank, and now do Sika Kotu Bank. Now, Koibi, you do as President Mahama, do you think all of us, ya Jimmy On, I am Kairi, Obia Kayo, don't underestimate Ghanaians. And your wife is because of world economy, Nyayan, who take advantage of the cancer. Financial sector cleanup cost MPP government 5 billion. And Kofu and Namusuma Bank and Edien akufo-addo ba wa betua na me won say na Ghana for to be kase o man mo yedene and na President Mahama to be nyakukuduro abeka kire Ghana say the worst economy ever
since a fourth republic.
Now minister question sir Professor Bina Okoka say Ghana is ripe for cool near April because check one and no yeah one and chief of staff.
Yeah, no executive secretary to Mahama.
Good. It is Abraham here where who send you my yabobosi. Taxes are Oma by me introduce you here in this country. Oh yeah, executive secretary no all side it where who. That is intellectual dishonesty. Intellectual dishonesty. Na me no man ko school kra What we call Ofeli Bako, our conveyance law.
Oh, yeah.
Ofeli, who come go checking the records, how many times conveyance exams and sound ucha. When you now call no lecturers, now one pollutu any pag. We have a problem in this country. Mon challenge me say, one fairly conveyance. How many times? What no Amaka frontier. Adia mene kan Assin don't come economics and me degree QB qualified by experience and therefore he can't intimidate me with the conveyance of failure or law school and the lecturer at all. Want to me intellectual dishonesty. One kasa we executive secretary. Look at the number of taxes that were introduced into this country. Buy businesses so Emma woman capital. As so shy now 2014, whatever we are experiencing now, and no make a COVID once I was see just this COVID.
Just this COVID.
You see, Okabibi said he left money 270 million.
Oh, stabilization fund.
Kofo and stabilization fund 300.
Okay.
Kofo Euro bond our G. Ebe macho. Hwe time wa President Kufuor J Euro bond na e macho no Mahama bro. If you want to know the 9 billion, what we have done with it, the bogus sikano jiji yem. Mature akufo-addo time. The same way we used to say sikan to pay akufo. The same way akufo-addo used the 9 billion to pay the interest. It is only the interest, not principal. And the uncle say ye Nagana for ye na yagini. It is a sabi in kuto because we can always defend everything. Enemy or we can compare. A hospital as I was in parliament. NDC for Kokra, ambulance in Tontroa.
Yeah.
And I didn't go parliament. And you have Brussels. And you have Brussels. And now can say, Untia nursing training for And you have Brussels, the teachers' allowance. You tag for you, Mukui. President Mahama Brussels, allowance was only 500. Today is 8,000. Give us a break. Open the Adia MPPI. Besides free SHS, go to the secondary schools and see buildings. Construction still going on. Our secondary schools. NDC buy, say E-blocks. 923. IMF funded, I think, 10 of them.
Yeah, 10.
Even President Akufo-Addo, model schools, was 52. And this is a buying papa biya for Ghana. To the way all the propaganda and memu catch or memoir I am not saying say but there is a reason.
Rubbish coronavirus.
There is a reason why I am telling you. And Kenneth Nime Kasano catch him say South Africans are praising Akufo-Addo. Because South Africa, a developed economy like South Africa, and I'm petroleum into only low shed. Every 2 hours, this is Mahama Bresono, kikre. Is that what Ghanaians are seeing today? Hey, in Ghana from Urefi, Adia Dumso, Ebaya Mu, Mahama Bresono. Why in the country I was saying, now electricity, I been no problem. It was money. Because they were stealing the money. Go and buy heavy properties in Dubai, South Africa, UK, and money. Akufo-Addo pays $40 million for E&I agreement on sign. E&I agreement on sign. We have to pay $40 million every month. And yes, our E&I for produce. You are asking for 9 billion, what we have done with it. I want every journalist in this country, I want good people of this country to ask that question. I don't have a problem, but not Mahama. Not President Mahama. For what he has done to this country, the harm that this man did in 4 years, and politics time. The question.
Also, I better.
So, look, let me tell you. I have said it here before, say, MPP, you're not lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky, I ain't gonna say. Anytime be a MPP, power, there's a global economic problems. I affected the whole world. President Akufo-Addo, fuel to be considered America for invade Iraq. What you say? To be quiet, drew 179.9% in June 2008. Ghanaians remember only $147 per barrel in May 2008. But from 147, the trend is there. Adam Yeshua, it shot up to 179. Under President Akufo-Addo. Look, Mahama Ekotina Senche, IMF has conditionalities. Emma Yentimi, I employ Ghana for I want a graduate unemployed association because of IMF. Senchena Okoyen, on one was say Oko Efedie, or we are Senchena whose economy was in shambles with all the taxes, he had to go to IMF. All the taxes he had to go to IMF. And nobody finds anything wrong with it. Nobody sees anything wrong. If you don't, I do. Because the damage that Mahama did in 4 years to this country. Whatever in 2017, Anna, you free IMF April, 1 year, 3 months. Now you're free IMF harsh conditionalities. That is why it will for migration, for police, fire service, military, prisons, NADMO, government areas, government places people have been employed because Kanoforia Taya all can one or no casa and the cleaning up system. Emma, the whole world had confidence in us. That is why IMF agreed. Emma, it call Borosika, and a car or no Mahama, a Bogu. Independent power producers, bogus agreement you signed in the car, 2.5 billion. Uncle Guinea, Equatorial
Guinea.
Uncle San gas, LNG, 2.5 billion. Akufo-addo buy no, Otumiko negotiating my head so by 1.5 billion. One transaction, Akufo-addo saved this country $1 billion. Mahama, please, give us a break. Don't think everybody is dumb. And we did not put everything down. We have recorded everything. Saying over here in the campaign, about the power, about the papa. We can account for every money we have taken. We have done 4,000 kilometers roads at $1 million per kilometer. That alone is $4 billion. Look at asphalt.
Yeah.
President Akufo-Addo and was starting wire in someone to Apega. Hey, Ghana for Mure Free Assembly. And someone to Apega. MPP Efriso. And this is for by obviously infrastructure. And they are no be started. Why didn't they complete it? And that and Rameba and an answer. Because because I know past Saturday they call. Send them see chairs to whom them. President Mills, the enemy. No matter. Because Simba 14 and Zaza, and him Yedri, Rosie Suhum. A quan send you see a smooth. Timeba, and I'm so on to one mileage. American car I'm using their miles. Now the car net 11,649. You bedroom in someone, nay, 11,673. Oh, yes. So about 22 miles. 22. If you calculate it, it's about 33 kilometers. It can be 20 minutes.
Wow.
33 kilometers, it can be 20 minutes. I want my cousin, Lord Ike, because not Kabi, just 33 kilometers. Your so-called infrastructure, you couldn't do this. Akufo-Addo, look, the 8 years. NDC bar so one yet. I'm Akufo-Addo now complete. It has shortened the number of minutes and hours. And you don't see any development in this country. Kind of at a year, so adia tumso a year. Na me no me bra papa me costo. Say them see brain. You swap compressors. Now they call for a wine. Yes. And your man a say wo. Say see am refu. Now and your man good port. Won't mean. And now beka taxes of once. Me to me talk car campaign can be over $3,000. Me buy duty no equivalent to $5,000. President Mahama, give us a break. We saw and witness and experience your governance.
Ono answer no oba for NDC.
I'm right. It be easy am I. Some people for also more yeah and be easy because already I want some kapapa.
Something you answer no.
We need moral to even criticize because he has done worse things in this country than the akufo-addo's administration. I will know to me back to the Ghana for say the worst economy and the Fourth Republic. Akufo-addo and now Otiemia. Na said we were feeling one may kind in human or come from the and see for answer Boniface for the harm this guy did to Ghanaians and the country. So what you say? And the say to me who catch them say Accra Dubai circle yeah. What the $275 million in a year. Pokuasi interchange is 65 million. Ghana for. I mean, Ghana for. And not the Amusi we are saying, Mungu Bida. Kasua interchange. Naminim consultants, Jifa. Adiabi Hano no to Minka. NDC for I inflate here, you know, sir. Over the $4 million equal to land cruises for themselves. They should challenge me. President Mahama. And now what is here with the dear omudi dim how akum sin kwakaye omo tu omo tibi do omo kopro and you don't have any moral rights even to talk. Let Ghanaians talk and we accept it.
All right, a few messages na to aso a lot of messages so nyina mpofo is it Mohammed's press conference Dabi we there one ora kwesi prat na di nkombo na honorable Ken hwe nkombo na wodi na wotu futuro gu nkrofo na ho akwa hia se obeyi na ofa kono ngo se ye wure mfi 5 years dum so ode etenemu ofa kono wo Washington DC nti 5 years so oba na oko ono be de nkomo no ebeko na wie ya no nti
yo efe mami explain enioma bia ama ahokyira ba because of COVID every country in the world is suffering or has suffered. And China, Shenzhen, still COVID number almost lockdown again. The number 2 largest economy in the world are still struggling. Over cancer COVID buy. Our export exceeded imports in 2018-2019 before the COVID. Mahama, were you able to do that for this country? Was Mahama able to do that? It was import. Mugu Tamaoya refinery, Edema, Mukonix, for more oil marketing companies importing finished products into this country. Go and see the size of Tamaoya refinery and then Esiwa and Yeju. NDC, Mumu moral rights to talk. And Yamwa, MPP, and the control skirt and blouse. And a mamu to me didn't say Mumu parliament. Then Kadia Moye, Mumu to me Katasu. Mami Mubu Bisunjo, and your Ghana for Samusi, we are saying a day and your moon titan belt because a Bayer West. Why? Russia is the second largest producer of crude oil. And the number 1 our gas. Today sanctions in it, crude oil no cry and Europe no money. So prices are going up very high. The whole world, only these 2 countries are air con and they produce wheat 50%. 50% of wheat in Tiana Brodo. This is your call. A quite muhayi. When apam, papa no the potato and bread. Young quite expanding the farms. Call wheat bread is going to go up.
Asemo.
And Ram call Pioneer Foods. Almost one person free cold store because in your mind demand to cry. Almost see cold store. Yeah, because or say sunflower oil no. Omudi good to no. The whole world Ukraine produce 50% of sunflower oil. And how no sunflower nifi. And then I cost by 400%. Now, and Ukraine also Okotua. Oma within 2 hours. One year, no, Nasa. Pioneer foods. Steel prices are going up because most of the billets are B5 near there in Ukraine. If you don't know, I'm telling you today. Ukraine. And the iron rods are going to go up until the war ever ceases. Now, maybe Sagana for say, President Mahama Breso COVID by.
Daddy.
Because of COVID, American economy, inflation for 40 years, and rising to 7.5 because of COVID, and now 7.5.
Or can I say the COVID-19?
Now we are, what I say, and I'm COVID now, say within 6 months. Now I know. Now, nursing training allowance, the crowd went to me and COVID in our meeting arrest. Nursing training allowance, went to me and
now COVID now with me arrest.
Now COVID by my own garbage arrest. South Africa, someone have video be a presenter be. What is a yes, how to 1.46 a run, and a can and then South Africa. Trotro for Nigeria. Dankanamwa, Asakoshi Omachi, and also mobile demonstration. A police for indiscipline, a war Ghana hanging out war, driving. A police for Mudimufa, because most of them are not trotro. And their drivers drive with impunity. Emra, Omuko Somo Koji permit. And also on Friday, Inti Monday. Omu comment ya police for no man can say, yeah, you know, Brentino demonstration here. Yabemam permit no mako. I am not against the demonstration, but so we are trotronia. We are demonstration. We are your FACA numbers. We pay tax. Control people don't pay tax in this country. I don't think I would do tax. Make a problem free because they don't pay anything. You are allowing NDC to use you to destroy this economy or worsen it. When you know, say, a global pandemic, a global problems that we are all facing. Not Duncan William, Duncan Amwa, organize them. Demonstration. You are not a patriotic citizen. So you are trotting not to me do car. Eko dim. We are seeing a eko. So for your demonstration, say petrol boy here. Now unya Ghana or Mambapa. Unya Ghana or Mambapa. Shanye we are seeing eko. Because of this Russian war, COVID aba eko for me and Russia anyway so be boom. Is that what we experience under NDC? And now who say we are saying who tax? Maybe tax. One more year we are near budget tax. No, I'm serious about it. Because I'm going to try my do. Because a police for had to talk as a mom and I'm drive anyhow. I am not against police in here or your extra income. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But their drivers should abide by the rules in this country. I am not afraid. I'm going to speak the truth till I die. And the demonstration, they have every right to go. But omu tiemia, omu koda, omu nesumi yesu no omu nwine. Say asemu amakan. Eye ama oman Ghana na demonstration a wakoye no ebe bua Ghana na.
We 2008 ya we are seeing some see and the ahokyere kakra ba said the work MPP ba bia eko 8 years na problem kakra aba nipa omo do so do no aye emebu no ya omo krom ha sei na no ne course wo UPS na say kra me hu say Pentecost University bi akoso ho no ne ade ne awo kan bi kra obabu no obekwa akoto aba classroom ono no osi ade o mbe de no mate
you to no ne America chum say they should not allow politicians to use them as tools to win power and abandon them. Use your conscience, use your brains. That is why you are in school. It is not only book. You should study reasoning by St. Augustine and Aquinas. So yeah, theology now philosophy. You hear about Saint Augustine and Saint Aquinas. What do you say? Analyze every issue. Don't consume the information, because as a American, will be back portion of Yamaka without generating a for you to see why I said that, when I said that, where I said that. But you only put a portion of you on the social media. Also, you should begin to ask why, when, and where.
Okay.
That is when who say education, school now is helping you. Because whatever we are doing, and now my sorry is because of the youth. Don't let them deceive you. War brains, brains, So let us analyze situations, read wide, give examples from other places. Now, some fatu will be who say, and your Ghana and Kwana Assin we see. The Bible no can was say a prophet is not honored in his own country because we'll be to South Africa and then low shedding. Emma or akufo-addo abaso, also a truck driver, Duncan Amwa, and Mushamochi.
Inquire demonstration.
Now, Omino, it is not the akufo-addo's doing, it is not MPP, it is the whole world's problem. American Ram share that check. New York, dollar a 1 gallon, say about $5. Gas.
About 5.
Yes.
Wow.
People are paying. California, 7 over. People are paying to mess them. Truck drivers, you have every right to go and do your demonstration. But think about this, a demonstration now, time we are dealing, we are war, any COVID, I'm a real a bad governance, and I'm a real and I say, a real I didn't ama a be affected now. And son, what to car, I can say, unko, what the kusiquem, and now what the unko, that. Ghana first. What we call demonstration. Look at how Ukraine for a defending home country. Ghanaians, we don't love our country because of politics. And Ghanaians that professor will not speak the way he spoke. If he's a true citizen and you're on your politically blinder. And looking at the world's economic problems. Now, what we don't have love for the nation. We only think of ourselves, what we're going to get. What we're going to get. But you cannot build a nation or a country like that when we have every individual being selfish and thinking of himself. We should love our country. We should give back to our country so that the youth who also emulate us and build on our kindness and commitment and love for the nation. It is not only selfishness, because a young people know me contract intimate a young yet so mine was say mine DC formula and DC for they become lazy because for and you could do for bank sika who call G1 bank sika why Miami are targeted to bank near Beguno. They made their people so lazy. One more sika so apart from Ibrahim Obie a Jumani. My sisters cannot go bruching. One can be a gas stations. I said no gas stations. They were doing bunkering. Illegal a year war. Sa oil marketing companies will be Katamari refinery, Agyapong Koyo. Oh, you buy a watty, say contamination. Hey, President Mahama, you want some go? Or no pan, you didn't badia. You want some can. Ghana, Kwa, Mahama, Bresso, and now tis oil. Yet you have a good tank more, Tamarin refinery near other, as a contamination. No, what I'm chronics. All these things affected the country. Is that the legacy you left for you to get the courage or the confidence even to say, who economy was better than Ghana, akufo-addo? Please, give us a break. He should come back again and apologize to Ghanaians. Where the Nanon of Fume.
Nina, Mohammed Costu was some one train. Now, the economy no class, and yet, in China, a bit more mobile to me.
Oba, I hear for another piano, and now I've been going to say that was with all due respect. Some of them are not able to reason properly. Until they easily go and convince them. But you are the one going to suffer because the first policy of NDC is to cancel the free SHS. And it goes back to Dr. Anameko. Or say, Emra or what secondary school? Or the first year, no, only secondary school fees. And was the idea, I beg we are seeing debt. I akufo-addo free SHS.
And right, any lecture about Hokasa already, or say, wow, be cancer yanko IMF be our boato. A baby abe cancer yanko IMF or boato. Papa consul a baby abe babe, why you say, free SHS, find your man on to a banfam. What you say? When you send education, a bois a year for him. And you see that, say, I say, dumping, I mean, 7 years ago, I said, I say, dumping girl, it means 7 A's and a B. Of course, school will be a war, and you decided college. And now Wesley girls. And free SHS is going to be and go better now. Free SHS never forms Sika. Our they got application form. I had to pay. Such a girl. Obey then and quoting Yako University. A good one. Why is it? Mahamas will be a better. Or no buyer 38 cities. 38 Ghana 14 years, 38 cities. The better administration or Kasa Akufo-Addo the West. 38 cities. And what demand for free education? Some Urapia. They catch them. Went here. And no class went here. And the President Mahama, pound once a man, who won't somebody at the bottom man. You bet me a car and made that. But Nyamisra MPP for me say, Asamba, Obi Kasamwa, I am me and your research. Yansu and Kasa Kakra. And you, my papa, education, so share TVET, no money. What they have done, our 35 schools, Mikromu dumping count, equipment a war. When you know, that is why Ghanaians are talking the way they are talking. And don't blame anybody saying, oh, my winding, and I will win. Because me, I'm a MP, oh, Assin Central. Mr. Free, I say, don't. I dear Papa, way on Koya, away. I had to go around the constituency and copy MVT. We say, Eish, I dear my. So we are not selling our stories. President Akufo-Addo, sa press conference now, this time. Every ministry should go with the projector, okay, and show all the things they've done for Ghanaians to see. And yet, Kasa, na journalists could be some question now. When you see feel gadoch, at the end of the year, so that Ghanaians will appreciate the good works of this government. There's a year COVID in the bar. And Kagana can do it. Massive chat to 29th time with the youth. Yes, ever so great for KNUST. Yes, Bakukraba Basu, Akufo-Addo and San. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll meet the youth and talk to them, encourage them to take their destiny into their own hands. Yeah. They shouldn't listen to we politicians alone. Well, Obama Kasem Papa Neafa. But there be a Haiti country, don't do it. The first cardinal principle of every Ghanaian. And Ukraine has shown that example is to love your country, irrespective of your political. What you are saying? That is commitment. Me show me commitment. Me the compare we are not committed to our country because obi team the country say ukasa bebrebe who sika that's a foolish thought and I don't take the advice. So the French Revolution, they should read the causes of the French Revolution. Even it's in the Bible. Amra kwatafo no tena e krona china e komdi wo musi amomram wo masema mo kan ne se atena yebewu Yako Musua, Yebewu, Yangua, Yebenya Bintin, and Yamko. I want 2 options.
It was not only one. And akwatafo no ko e dey na see. So don't think of only yourself. Sika bebrebe aye pay nyina. I love money because I want to give to ordinary people.
Yeah.
I want to help society.
Yeah.
But with all this, I will die. Why we are cannot need trace more because they say dollar no for a surusa the ceiling sa against misika shiashino and yasam. But this is the situation we find ourselves in. And the youth of this country take the destiny of this country at heart. No matter the situation, let us say to ourselves, say, we have nowhere to go. This is our country. Don't let politicians divide us. And build this country. Sanya and painfobi a sacrifice life. Ebra and woman who are ding and woman who namina edisi woma Ghana. Let us build on that.
And on that note, Mami Noasi.
Mo
ene kasa 2 ways ena obetumi aye a fool e wo ho asem aye no kre na waye wadwen se wonyi ni se ye no kre you are a fool ena asem anye no kre na waye wadwen se opa gie di se ye no kre ne ono abo ebe kan yi wo se ya wankasa so tena se o ye student na ye yuta na wan so wadwen ho abusa ye comparison already wide eboa wo ema wotumi hu se de wi ase no esi ekro na politician de so odi na chia don't know what can I do here Agyapong and no din production ye do bi ase du ba ko abo other programs on the air to us. So, me din Amufa Boachi. Now, me aduma channel pay Akra.